My topic today is an article. It's about my first year as a freelance interpreter. My experiences, many different things that I've learned. Today I want to share with you all how I learned, and I'm going to present in sign language. Two years ago, I graduated. I felt in between that time, I had a lot of different feelings. I felt happy and proud, a little scared. I had a lot of questions, but I also felt really thankful. I had a lot of teachers and mentors and friends and coworkers who I got to learn so much from, and they influenced me a lot. I internalized a lot of what I learned. I recently graduated, and now I feel like I can share that experience with other students. So if you have an interpreting assignment, a training meeting, a presentation, and you read on your assignment what was going to happen, and then you show up to interpret, and what you thought was going to happen and what is actually happening does not match, you need to be okay with that. I know about, you need to be able to learn about new topics and be flexible in those situations. If you walk in and it's a topic that you don't understand, you need to be willing to call the agency to understand that you don't know the topic, that it's going to be past your skill level, and you need to call the agency. They'll be flexible. You'll be able to match up with assignments that are a good match for your skills. When I graduated college and school was finished. But was I finished learning? No. Understand that you will learn throughout the rest of your life. And it's important as an interpreter to learn more about the language and the culture. You can't only take up ASL classes and sign well and be ready to interpret. No. You need to go outside and experience the culture, internalize that as well. It's important to continue learning and working with ASL, English, and maybe even Spanish. You need to be able to develop your professional skills. You need to be able to enter a profession and practice. You need to be able to go to workshops and learn, go to RID, NCI, and think about different situations that can happen. That way you can think, if this happened to me, what would I do? That way you have a lot of decisions for the future. There's also a book by Brenda. It's called So You Want to Be an Interpreter, and it explains different situations that could happen and what you should do in those situations. And that's important. It's important to start doing that. So if you look back at newspapers and articles, and it's important to practice. Sometimes maybe you're thinking, I can't interpret. I'm a lousy interpreter. I need to just give this up. And a lot of other negative thoughts. It's important to ignore those negative thoughts and put them aside. For myself, if I know that if you're finger spelling a word and it goes out way out to the right, then that's a skill that you need to work on. But negative thoughts, like I'm an awful interpreter for no reason, those are not okay. You need to look at your strengths and weaknesses and just learn how to improve them and develop your skills. It's important not to focus on self-doubt, what I can't do, negative thoughts. You need to block those out and continue developing your skills to be successful. You know, there have been a lot of situations that have happened where I'll mess up and somebody will come up to me and say, "Oh, you can do it." I'll be like, "Right, you can be successful." That's important for you to know. After 1 year, you'll interpret. Eleanor Roosevelt says, "You can gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience." As a new interpreter, many people will influence you, give you feedback. Sometimes that advice is good, sometimes it's not so good. You need to know, oh, that's good advice, or maybe that's not for me. Sometimes it can be confusing. It's hard to know. But you'll find your perspective from your experience. Maybe somebody has a different perspective and that's not for you. And that's okay. You just need to decide who you want to become as an interpreter and what you want to do from here on out. You remember that you control your future. Surround yourself with people who want you to succeed. That's really important. Discuss during your first year as a freelance sign language interpreter. You can feel alone if you're working alone all day. That's why it's important to have a group of people who will support you, who want you to succeed. They can help you and support you in different situations. You can learn how to make your own group. There's a hashtag that you can use too. And you can read that as well to find good support. It's important to take good care of yourselves. And that means eating and drinking water, getting enough sleep, finding your own way to relax, finding your zen. It's important as a freelance interpreter, if you work all day and all night, to take care of yourself. It's honestly, truly important. And sometimes you can enjoy yourself too. Make yourself a bag in your car that might have important little things inside that you need for an emergency, like Advil medicine or some lotion, hand cream. There's a list of different things that you could have inside your car, like a book or something that you could write in. There's a list inside, Say You Want to Be an Interpreter, that book. One of my favorite things is when you learn so much. There's so much in the world to learn about. And in interpreting, you learn a lot about yourself as well. While you're interpreting, you can discover yourself. Discover new things about yourself, figures yourself out, figure out what you like and you don't like, what you love, what you hate. So in the future, you'll learn what confuses you, what scares you, what makes you feel inspired or motivated. It's like a flower that grows, and once it blooms, you can see. You can learn a lot about yourself. Always remember why you became a sign language interpreter, to challenge yourself. It's a challenging job. There are many different ways that you can go. It takes a lot of physical energy, and it's challenging. Sometimes you'll wonder, am I good enough? And you might examine yourself and not feel good enough. But take some time to remember and to look back at why you became an interpreter. Remember that feeling of inspiration when you were learning ASL, when you were becoming an interpreter, when you were so excited. Remember that. This is a process. There are a lot of different experiences, and it's your own journey. Sometimes for the first year as a freelance interpreter, it may seem like it's a roller coaster of ups and downs. But remember, it's a journey. Think people who help you, who helped you arrive where you are today. Friends, deaf, hard of hearing, family, teachers, mentors, and equals. Always remember. And at the same time, remember the group of interpreters who can help you as well, who you can help as well. Like an ASL student who says, oh my gosh, I'm learning ASL, I want to be an interpreter someday too. Oh, that's awesome. You just need to support them in that and explain to them and encourage them. I feel like that's important. At the same time, volunteering, you can share reasons, share resources with your equals, things that you've learned. Cherish those crazy moments as a freelance interpreter and those fun moments.